now. I'm going to break it down like chess. He hasn't played chess until his jaw dropped because he didn't think. See, the producers are telling him, oh, you're going to look like the good guy because you're coming when you're young and you're not that smart. You're gullible, you know, with no shade, you're gullible. So he's thinking he's going to look like the hero. And I sit there breaking it down. Meanwhile, every female in America is relating because they've been through it. Getting left for a younger girl, getting left for a hotter girl, getting left and being blamed for everything in your mother when all you've done was love. Listen, I'm not an angel. I'm difficult. I'm not perfect. One thing I've given my men, though, is a lot of love because I have a lot of love to give. So I broke it down on national TV. I told him how I felt. That was real. His reactions were real. But the setup was obviously produced because and that's why I don't say it's staged or fake. I would say it's produced or the girls, they'll say you got to meet the girls. I think the girls want to take you to this bar in the city, meet them, and I want you to talk about what you've been feeling. Yeah.
So the situation isn't organic, but what actually happened at the situation is. That makes sense.
Correct. Yeah,
because it's based on true life reality, but the producers have to somehow make all this right.
And also a lot for princesses, though, the reason it was so real and raw is because even a lot of the bars and clubs, we picked them and told the producers. So we would say, we go to this bar all the time. We go to the Hamptons house all the time. We want to make this happen. So our show was so special because it was actually mostly real. The producers really just let it roll.
Right.
They didn't really get so involved. There was too much history there to not get it, to have to get involved.
Well, I think a lot of the shows now have they're filmed very almost like a formula, like a book, like a romance novel would have to be written. Some of them these writers have to follow these formulas. Right. And I noticed that some of the reality shows follow this formula. And I've been watching Selling Sunset because I'm always looking for something I can have on that I don't have to necessarily pay attention to. You know what I mean? It's
everyone's loving that show.
It's so simple. And really. And you get to look at the beautiful houses, and it's not like, oh, if I haven't paid attention for 10 minutes, I've lost where I'm at. It's just very simple, and you just, and the houses, of course, are gorgeous that they're listing, but it's very, it's almost like a scripted reality show. The way they make them all sit in their office, Jen, that's not how they all really work. And you know what else?
Conversations and stuff, they have them standing outside the door like a sitcom. Yeah. Okay, your turn. Walk into the office now because they're talking about you walk in.
Or they'll be like, let's get that shot of that restaurant you're walking in and out. Now, is that staged or fake? No, it's just produced. It's the logistics that go along with TV.
I just kind of call it scripted reality, where I shouldn't, maybe scripted isn't the right way. It's staged reality more. Right. And I noticed that The Hills was the same type of formula that they have filmed Sunset. You know how The Hills had that reality, but it was staged the way it was.
See, with us, we were so different. I do believe we were so organic, which goes back to which piggies back off the answer of the last question. I do feel that's why the world wasn't ready, if that makes sense, because it was so real and raw that people were just like, really? Am I going to really watch this? Even though it's so good and real, is it real? So I think that confused people a lot too,
Well, you tell you. Yeah.
Like the original Vanderpump, right?
Yeah, technically. I mean,
a couple years later, you guys would have blown up like they did. It's the same formula.
Yeah, and it's so funny because I said to all the network and the producers, I said, we cannot have the title princesses. We cannot make this a Jewish-based show. I am telling you, we're going to get backlash from the Jewish community. And we cannot, we got to be real about working. Because even the whole moral of the story is people want to look at princesses, and even if it was princesses or wealthy women from a privileged background, they want to see us and say, wow, we can relate to them because they go through the same things we go through. Right. Yeah. It's funny how those shows developed after princesses, if you noticed. All those concepts developed after princesses, which kind of sucks for us because we could have been in that boat. And I do agree with you. I always say to people, if we came in 2014 or 15 like Vanderpump, we would have had, even whether it's princesses or not, such better luck because Keeping Up with the Kardashians, if you remember, became controversial at that time. They were the only ones accepted in Housewives.
Yeah. Even if you guys had gotten a second season, like I just wanted to see where everybody went after that.
Right.
Did the friendships work out? Like, are you still going? They did one season of Housewives of Toronto.
Right. And, oh my God, I loved that. I was so upset.
I hated it. I hated them all.
You did?
They were the most horrible group of women ever. I still wanted to see what happened. And I loved it because it was real. Like, I knew the restaurants. I knew when they went to the Muskoka Cottage. Like, I know about the deck party up there. It was, I wanted more. I wanted to know where they went. If you've never watched it, Housewives of Vancouver is brilliant. I think there was only one. Now? No idea. No, I watched it when it was like running live, and I think there's only one season of that one. That one I can't believe didn't keep going. It was so good.
That's the thing. It's like even watching, like the thing is the formula is so good. Like Princess of Long Island had 1.2 million ratings. When you have a 1.2 million rating, you move on to the second season usually. But a lot just came into it. Unfortunately, I think we were dealt some, a certain card that I've learned. I always learned lessons. I'm always grateful. I'm always trying to find like the positive angle and things. Cause I think
good for you.
When you're negative, I think that sometimes you feel
it follows you, right?
It follows you. It's like, what am I going to do? So I had one season and I'm not a reality star consistently, but now what can I do? I can get back on TV for certain things. That's why I started going on like the Good Day New Yorks and the Daily Mails. And I have a spot here and there to talk about my podcast and as a host. And I do the comedy. The stand-up comedy keeps me sane because it makes me forget that I was a one-hit wonder.
Sometimes, well, it's not only that, but Chanel, I think that our personalities, I know I'm not thriving unless I'm creative. I have to be creating, whether it's my photography or it's art or comedy.
Me too.
So, I mean, and
that's what I try to tell people. Like, I'm not competing. I just let me create because that's just really what helps my mental health. And if you want my mental health to be intact, like I want all your mental health to be intact, help me, help you, help me kind of thing.
That's also here, which was another question is, with your mental health, and how do you stay so positive?
It's crazy, girl. You are literally the happiest person ever.
And your dance parties, your live dance parties are great. And
I'll have the craziest day at work and come home and pour a glass of wine, and there's a Chanel dance party.
Yeah, we're waiting.
I'm gonna cry.
We're waiting for the Chanel dance party.
I messaged you. I think this is how it all started because I was messaging you. I'm like, okay, girl, you need to put together like a list of the music you're using because I want this on a playlist. It's just fun. I can set up my iPad in the kitchen. I'll do dishes. I'll make lunches for the next day, whatever. I'm just watching. I'm listening. I'm singing. Like,
oh my God.
How are you doing
this? I'm crying out of happiness.
You were too cute. You were so adorable. Look at you cry.
It makes me so happy that you guys are happy.
We are happy and we love seeing you happy, girl. It's the pandemic. We need you.
Is that drugs? I mean, like, your booze? Is this just who you are? What's going on?
Who I am. Like
she's sober.
I'm so sober. I swear, I wish I was like on marijuana or like fuck. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but like I wish I was drinking. It's like I swear so I grew up in dance, hip hop dancing, and it always like been something that kind of made me feel like. And just making people laugh made me feel like there's a purpose for me in this world,
Yeah.
And I just feel so blessed that when I get to dance, you guys are like, this is making me happy. And I think that's what keeps me going. And the other day someone goes, is that all you do is just dance and live in hotels? And I'm like, that's funny. Actually,
we got to get to that too. We're like, what, girl? What are you doing?
And I'm like, what am I going to do? Am I going to cry even though I'm crying now out of happy tears, but am I going to cry and be depressed every day that my life isn't great? Or am I going to like work hard for myself? And also I'm going to be a hypocrite. If I can't get up out of bed and make you guys happy and drive you guys, then who am I? Then how am I going to drive myself? And also I always feel like being selfish just sucks. So like part of being selfless is sharing that love and that energy. And that's what gets me so high when I start dancing crazy. When you guys start egging me on, I'm like, damn it, who needs drugs? And I love showing my belly too because people get so offended. I'm like,
oh yeah, girl, show that belly if it pisses them off.
Oh yeah, voluptuous is what it is. Because you know what? I don't want to, my parents, like, God bless them, I love them, but growing up, princesses of Long Island, I had to be this like thin person for everyone all the time. And guess what? You know when I'm happiest? When I'm heavier. That's when I'm happiest.
Yeah. Well, everybody's happy when they can eat.
That's why they're so miserable.
Yeah. No one's fucking eating.
Because no one's eating.
Birds.
And I'm going to the refrigerator. I'm like stuffing my face. I'm so happy. This guy goes to me the other day. He goes, "Oh, wow, you're eating that pasta from David Burke, like all in your face." I go, "You're just jealous that I'm enjoying it and not and not shaming myself that I'm not a twig. I'm happier when I can do whatever I want." That's the truth. That's what helps my mental health. When I say to myself, "Wow, you're projecting your insecurity on me. Why does it offend you so much that I'm heavy and you're not?" Like, that makes no sense to me.
Right. Yeah. Well,
why would that offend someone?
Why do people care? Like,
why do people care?
You know what? Lizzo's up there shaking it. There's plenty of big, beautiful women that are, you know, that are doing their thing.
I really think it's only miserable people that need to project onto others.
I agree. Because you guys are so happy. Like, even when you come to my lives, I feel like both of you are so encouraging, and then you get the whole crowd to like be more encouraging. And I just wish more people were like the two of you. That's real. What you two stand for is real women empowerment. I kind of have seen people say they're empowering women, but they're not really. It's just like a fake ploy, you know, a PR.
Well, but also you're dealing too with the industry of being so competitive and so catty. And I believe, you know, women could say they're empowering women, but in the industry, women, a lot of them, they are just cutting each other's throat to get ahead. And but you know, it's business too. Who knows? But
let's get back to the hotel. What's going on?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so I want to give a shout out to Garden City Hotel. So me and Garden City Hotel, that's one of my favorite hotels in the world. Yeah. We partnered up together because, you know, as an influencer, as a podcaster, you partner up with people. Right. My house on Long Island, believe it or not, it's the times of living with my parents are over because because the universe forced that out. They were like, "Bitch, you got to get out." So the house is under construction. So my parents right now are with my sister in Brooklyn. Too tight of a space. Like you said, Jen and Cindy, I like to create. I can't be, you know, and I can't make excuses also for my living situation, why I can't do certain interviews. Like I had Luann on the other day. I had DL Hughley. I figured when the Garden City Hotel reached out to me, they said, you know, we want to invite influencers to let people know that our hotel is under great sanitation, which they are. They're very clean. People are scared to go to hotels now, but they're kind of like getting false information. So they gave me a beautiful deluxe suite. I did the podcast out of there with Dina Lohan because we had that podcast, Listen to Me, the OG Mama D. And I'll talk about like my history with them. And then I did Chanel in the City out of there. And because the house has been under the construction, hopefully our house gets back in one piece, like they said by September. So, and I'm actually in the middle of moving this week to my apartment in the city, thank God. Finally.
Like New York, right in New York?
New York City, yeah. I was thinking about moving to LA for my career, especially for stand-up. But right now, with all COVID, I'm going to move to the city, and then But now I'm now back to being an adult, and I like it. I like that. Sometimes, you know, look, people who are actually suffering more than me would have to live in a hotel because of a homeless situation, because of a domestic violence situation, whatever it is, right? So I always encourage people to like pamper themselves for their mental health. So if that means taking yourself to a hotel and getting away from everyone and having your own space, do that for yourself. Right. Don't care what people say. They're not paying your bills. And yes, people might not think it's the norm, which is weird because I'm an entertainer. So it's kind of the norm for me to be on the road all the time. You know what I mean? I'm constantly on the road. I mean, before COVID, I was Rhode Island, DC, Missouri, and I was staying in all these different hotels. You know, it's not like I don't have a house or an apartment. It's so I have to give them a shout out because they really, really helped me with the podcast, just taping from there, having a good setting background, you know. Now with Zoom, I don't know if you guys go through this, but it's like a whole beast. It's like, I never used Zoom before this pandemic. Just started.
This pandemic has been the best thing ever for Zoom.
It has been the best thing ever. Zoom, they're billionaires.
The app have both been around for years. Nobody has ever heard about them till this, and now everybody's using them.
Yeah, I mean, I used to record over Skype.
Yes. Oh, real, right.
I would record through another program, And then I'm like, oh, I can just record on Zoom, and I'm only doing audio. So I'm like, why am I going to go? Just made it a lot easier.